Good evening to you, my entrepreneurial friends. How are you? This is Brian K. McNeil, the Sales Confidence Coach. And I'm here tonight to reveal to you a secret. It's a secret, but I'm going to reveal it to you tonight. Tonight, the premise is, what is the greatest book on selling ever written? What is the best book on selling ever written? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm a big fan of books on selling, and my reputation is true in that I have personally read more than 700 books on selling in the past 32 years. That's right. And I know that's a conservative number because several of the books I read more than one time. I've read all the classics and all the best ones. You can nary name a book on selling that I've not read. Some of them were amazing, and some of them were dreadful. Even the bad ones, you can hopefully pick up a nugget or two in it. But tonight, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you tonight what is the greatest book on selling ever written. And here's what it is. Before I do that, let me tell you why it's been a secret for so long. Although there have been amazing books on selling ever written, and they give amazing methodologies and amazing techniques and amazing philosophies, and you can always get better by reading about selling, even ebooks and watching YouTube. You can always get better. But the greatest book on selling, here's the secret. It's the one that you write. Yes. See, where the greatest books on selling miss it, they don't factor in your personality. They don't factor in your thought processes, the way you look at the world. That's what the greatest books don't factor in. But I'm going to tell you, the greatest book on selling ever written is the one you write. I was so motivated a few days ago when a former client of mine, she reached out to me and wanted to share with me her notes that she took from 5 years ago. And it was amazing notes from her training. It was like a mini MBA on selling. The greatest book on selling ever written is the one that you write that's catered to you and your personality. Like, I could say some things and I could teach and teach and teach. And if you tried to sell exactly like Brother Brian sell, at best, you will be is a poor imitation. What you should do is take my trainings or any of the trainings that you ever get and color the trainings with your personality, with your notes, with you catching yourself doing something right. What's happening, Brother Red? How you doing? Catching yourself doing something right. When I say, what do I mean by catch yourself doing something right? For example, I once had this experience where I presented to a client and they did not hire me. They didn't hire me, which is fine. And I happened to be going into a bank later that week, and the client that didn't hire me would happen to be coming out of the bank. And I said, look at this. We're bumping into each other now at the same bank. I live where I work, and I want you to be happy when you see me. That's why I was offering my services to you. And for some reason, that line about I live where I'm working and I want you to be happy when you see me triggered them, and they reconsidered and hired me. That line, I want you to be happy when you see me. That was me doing something inadvertently brilliant. So what I did was I captured it in a notebook. That's a chance of me catching myself doing something right. Those notes that you take in notebooks and journals, however you do it, add those together with all the notes that you take about you catching yourself doing something right, all the times where you try a selling ideology and it works for you, and you make those notes. And if you're tracking your progress, if you're actively involved in a sales training program, if you're actively working with a sales coach or trainer and you're taking notes, those notes colored with your personality of you catching yourself doing something right is the greatest sales manual ever written. It's the one that you write about how you sell yourself and your services. I very often say it that way. How do you sell yourself and your services? Because if they buy into you, they can only get you from you. They can't get you from someone else. So that's what it is. So you sell yourself first, friends. Sell yourself first. Why should they listen to you in the first place? Why should they listen to you in the first place? Are you credible? Has anybody else said anything good or great about working with you? Capture those testimonials, capture those video testimonials. If you think a potential client today is not going to check you out before they give you their hard-earned money, you are being vain. Everybody's going to check you out. Everybody's going to see if they can Google you or find reviews about you. They're going to check your LinkedIn profile. They're going to check your Facebook profile. They're going to check your testimonials. They're going to check your reviews. They're going to check what books you have written. I've written several excellent books on how to sell. Now, I wrote a long time ago, I wrote a report called The 10 Greatest Books on Selling, and it got popularity around the world. The 10 Greatest Books on Selling by Brian K. McNeil. You can Google that as well. And it lists the classics, and it had How to Master the Art of Selling in there. It had The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino in that list. It had How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Becker in that list. It had The Art of Closing Any Deal by James W. Pickens in that list. Those are classic books on how to sell yourself and your services. And I added two more to it. I added The Shortcut by Brian K. McNeil. This book teaches you what to do to be effective. Only 74 pages, a lot of cake, very little frosting. And I added to the list Asking for the Money by Brian K. McNeil. This book infuses the reader with confidence when it comes to overcoming objections and closing the sales. You happen to know that author. You're looking at him right now, Brian K. McNeil. So now my list includes the 12 greatest books on selling. But the better book than all 12 of those is the book on selling that you write. Yes, coloring what you learn with your own personality, with your own thought processes. That is the greatest book on selling ever written. I know a guy who can help you to write your own greatest book on selling ever. I can help you to write it for yourself. When you work with me, I'm actually doing a workshop this upcoming Saturday morning at 10 a.m. called How to Write the Greatest Sales Manual Ever. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and I'll post the link into that. It's a free webinar. It's a free workshop. I'll post it in the comment section. It's a bit.ly link, bit.ly.com/sales manual. That's what it is. But I will post it in the actual link in the comments, and I'll show you how to write the greatest sales manual ever written. It's written by you, for you, colored with your personality and your thought process. And what that will do for you, it will course correct you for the rest of your career, for the rest of your life in business. If you ever find yourself getting off course, you'll be able to flip the pages of the greatest sales manual ever written, and it'll course correct you forever. It'll get you back on course and back profitable again and again and again. My name is Brian K. McNeil. I'm the Sales Confidence Coach, and I want to help you to write your own greatest sales manual ever. The greatest book on selling ever written is the one that you write, that's individualized, that's catered to you and your personality, colored with your personality. There's some people that are consider themselves not pushy. They consider themselves, I'm a presenter to them, and if they like it, fine. That's a part of your personality. And if you couple your personality with good selling ideologies, selling ways of thinking, selling ideologies, there's certain selling ideologies you need to have, certain ways of thinking that you can find. I'll show you how to find, this suits me and my personality. This suits me and my personality. And you will build the greatest sales manual ever written. My name is Brian K. McNeil. Thank you for joining me for these few minutes. I will post the links in the comments, and I'll help you to write your greatest sales manual ever, written by you, for you, featuring your own personality. Have a beautiful evening.